Hello bachcho, welcome to Jatin Academy. Today we're going to study an interesting chapter, temperature and its measurement. We learn what temperature is, how it is measured, and why our sense of touch can sometimes confuse us. So, let's begin. Wrong measurements are worse than no measurements at all. This was said by Anna Mani, and today we'll understand why she said that. Imagine a small scene. In Shillong, Lambok and his sister Fiban return home from school. Lambok says that he feels like he has a fever. Fiban touches his forehead and she also feels that he might have a fever. But instead of just guessing, she takes out a thermometer, cleans it, and properly measures his temperature. And then they realize, oh, the temperature is actually normal. That means if they had decided only by touch, they would have reached the wrong conclusion. Now the question is, can we always tell whether someone has a fever just by touching them? If that were possible, then why would doctors use thermometers? The simple answer is, our sense of touch is not always accurate. Now imagine an interesting experiment. There are 3 containers, A, B, and C. Container A has warm water, B has normal tap water, and C has ice-cold water. Now you put your right hand in the warm water and your left hand in the ice-cold water. After some time, you place both hands together into container B. And this is where the fun begins. Even though the water is the same, your right hand says, this water feels cool, while your left hand says, no, this feels warm. Now the child gets confused. Same water, but 2 different feelings. What kind of magic is this? Actually, it's not magic, it's just the confusion of our body. The hand that was previously in warm water feels the normal water as cold, and the hand that was in ice-cold water feels the same normal water as warm. Same thing, but different sensations. So, what do we learn from this? Our sense of touch is not always reliable. We cannot correctly judge temperature just by touching something. That is why instruments like thermometers are important, because they provide exact and accurate measurements. Now imagine one funny situation. If we depended only on touch, sometimes tea would feel cold and sometimes the same tea would feel hot. And then mum would say, "Do you even know what you're talking about?" So, remember, to know temperature correctly, we need proper measuring tools because our skin can sometimes confuse us. Now let's understand a very important concept, temperature. As we just saw, our sense of touch can confuse us, so we need a reliable method to measure hotness or coldness. That reliable measure is called temperature. It's very simple. The hotter a body is, the higher its temperature, and the colder it is, the lower its temperature. The difference in temperature between 2 bodies tells us which one is hotter and by how much. That is why measurement is important instead of guessing. Now, the next question is, how do we measure temperature? For this, we use a device called a thermometer. Basically, there are 2 types of thermometers, clinical thermometers and laboratory thermometers. A clinical thermometer is specially used to measure human body temperature, while a laboratory thermometer is used in science experiments. Nowadays, the thermometer we see most commonly is the digital thermometer. It works using a battery and the numbers are clearly displayed on the screen, making it easy to read. Earlier, mercury thermometers were commonly used, but mercury is a toxic substance. That means if the thermometer breaks, it can be dangerous. That is why digital thermometers have now become safer and more popular. And you probably remember the COVID period when temperature was checked without even touching the person? Those are called non-contact or infrared thermometers. They can measure temperature from a distance, reducing the risk of spreading diseases. Now let's understand how to use a thermometer. First of all, it is important to clean your hands and the tip of the thermometer because hygiene is just as important as measurement. Then the thermometer is reset and placed under the tongue. After a few seconds, a beep sound is heard and the display shows the temperature. Then you simply note down the reading. Now for a fun part. Imagine you're checking the temperature of your friends. Someone's temperature is 36.7 degrees Celsius, someone's is 36.8 degrees Celsius, and someone's is around 37 degrees Celsius. And then you wonder, why isn't everyone's temperature exactly the same? Actually, slight variation is completely normal, but the average normal body temperature is approximately 37 degrees Celsius. If it goes much higher than this, it may be a sign of fever. But even here, one small mistake can create a big problem. If the thermometer is not cleaned properly or not used correctly, the reading can become inaccurate. And wrong measurement means wrong decisions. And once again, we remember the same line that wrong measurements are worse than no measurements. So the important thing to remember is that measuring temperature correctly is very important because our health can depend on it. And yes, don't use a thermometer like a spoon. Otherwise, mummy will say, "Are you becoming a doctor or a scientist?" Now let's understand another very interesting point. We often hear that normal body temperature is 37 degrees Celsius. But is every person's temperature really exactly 37 degrees Celsius? If you performed the activity, you may have noticed that some people had a temperature of 36.7 degrees Celsius, some had 36.9 degrees Celsius, and some were close to 37 degrees Celsius. That means everyone's temperature was not exactly the same. Actually, 37 degrees Celsius is not a fixed value. It is an average value calculated by observing the temperatures of many healthy people. So a perfectly healthy person's temperature can be slightly higher or lower than this, and that is completely normal. Now think of something funny. If every person's temperature were exactly 37 degrees Celsius, then the work of thermometer makers would become very easy. They could just print one number and finish the job. But in reality, the human body is not that simple. Our body temperature depends on many factors, such as age, the time of the day, and the kind of activity you're doing. Your temperature in the morning may be slightly different from your temperature in the evening. If you've been running around or doing physical activity, your temperature may rise a little. You can even try this yourself. Measure your temperature in the morning, afternoon, and at night. Compare the readings for a few days and you will notice the variations on your own. Now let's understand an important range. Normally, human body temperature does not go below 35 degrees Celsius and does not rise above 42 degrees Celsius. If it does, it may indicate a serious condition. Now let's talk about small children and elderly people. Young children usually have a slightly higher temperature because their metabolism is faster, their body is growing, and they produce more heat. In elderly people, the opposite happens. Their metabolism becomes slower, so their body temperature may be slightly lower. Now here's a small practical point. While measuring the temperature of small children or elderly people, the thermometer can also be placed in the armpit. But there is a catch. The reading obtained through this method is usually about 0.5 degrees Celsius to 1 degree Celsius lower than the actual body temperature. So if the reading shows 36.5 degrees Celsius, the actual body temperature may actually be slightly higher. Now, temperature can also be measured using different scales. You have already seen the Celsius scale, in which we use degrees Celsius. But there is another scale called the Fahrenheit scale, where 37 degrees Celsius is written as 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit. And in science, there is another important scale called the Kelvin scale, whose unit is Kelvin, K. This is the SI unit used in scientific calculations. So overall, temperature is not a fixed number. It is actually a range that can vary slightly from person to person. And that is exactly why temperature should always be measured properly, because the human body does not give the exact same answer every time. Now let's clear up a very common confusion. Your friend's thermometer shows 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit, while you have heard that normal body temperature is 37 degrees Celsius. So is one of them wrong? No, both are correct, only the scale is different. There are different scales for measuring temperature: Celsius, Fahrenheit, and Kelvin. Just like distance can be measured in meters or kilometers, temperature can also be written in different units. So 37 degrees Celsius and 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit actually represent the same temperature, only the units are different. And if you want to convert Celsius into Kelvin, there is a simple relation. K equals T degrees C plus 273.15. That means if the temperature is 27 degrees C, then in Kelvin it becomes 300.15 K. The Kelvin scale is very important in science because it is the SI unit. Now, a little interesting history. Before thermometers were invented, how did people detect fever? They used to check the pulse rate. If the pulse was fast, they assumed the person had fever. But the problem was that pulse rate does not increase only because of fever. It can also increase because of fear, excitement, or running. So this method was not reliable. Now, here's a tricky question. Can we use a clinical thermometer to measure the temperature of boiling water or ice? Absolutely not. That is because a clinical thermometer has a limited range, around 35 degrees Celsius to 42 degrees Celsius. It is designed only for the human body. If you place it in hot water, either the reading will be incorrect or the thermometer itself may get damaged. That is why we need a laboratory thermometer to measure very high or very low temperatures. A laboratory thermometer is slightly different. It has a long glass tube containing a liquid such as alcohol or mercury. When the temperature changes, the liquid moves up or down and we read the temperature from the scale. Its range is also much larger, approximately -10 degrees Celsius to 110 degrees Celsius. That means it can measure both very cold and very hot temperatures. That is why it is used in experiments. Now imagine this. If you try measuring the temperature of tea with a clinical thermometer, the thermometer would probably say, "Bro, this is not my job." So remember this important point. Every thermometer has its own purpose and range. Using the right instrument for the right job is smart science. Now let's understand another important concept related to thermometers. How small a change it can measure, which is called its smallest value or least count. Imagine you are carefully observing a laboratory thermometer. It has some large markings such as 0 degrees Celsius, 10 degrees Celsius, 20 degrees Celsius, and between them there are smaller divisions. Now, if there are 10 small divisions between 0 degrees Celsius and 10 degrees Celsius, then what will be the value of each division? Simple logic. 10 degrees Celsius has been divided into 10 equal parts, which means each small division represents 1 degree Celsius. So the smallest value or least count of this thermometer is 1 degree Celsius. This means that the thermometer cannot accurately show temperature changes smaller than 1 degree Celsius. Therefore, every thermometer can have a different least count, and it is important to observe it carefully before using it. Now, measuring temperature correctly is just as important as understanding the thermometer itself. If you do not use it properly, the reading can become incorrect. The thermometer should always be kept straight or vertical, not tilted. And one very important thing, its bulb should not touch the bottom or sides of the container. Otherwise, the reading may become wrong. And while taking readings, one small mistake is very common. People remove the thermometer from the liquid and then check the reading. But when this happens, the liquid level inside the thermometer immediately starts changing because it begins adjusting to the surrounding air temperature. That is why the temperature should always be read while it is still inside the liquid. Now imagine a small experiment. You take warm water, place the thermometer inside it, and observe the liquid column rising upward. After a few seconds, it stops moving. That is the final temperature. If you wait too long, the water itself will start cooling down and the reading will change. Now here's an interesting observation. The temperature of ice remains at 0 degrees Celsius as long as it is melting, and the temperature of boiling water remains at 100 degrees Celsius as long as it is boiling. That means, during a change of state, the temperature remains constant. This is a very cool concept in science. Now here's a tricky question. Can we use a laboratory thermometer to measure body temperature? No. That is because it does not have a feature to hold the reading, and the moment you take it out, the reading immediately starts falling. So it is neither safe nor suitable for measuring human body temperature. Now imagine this. You go to a doctor and the doctor takes out a laboratory thermometer and says, "Please keep this under your tongue." You would probably think, is this a doctor or a scientist doing an experiment? So the important thing to remember is this. Using a thermometer correctly, understanding its least count, and using the right instrument in the right place are the keys to accurate measurement. Now let's look at an interesting activity, in which the temperature of boiling water was measured. Different students recorded different readings. One got 97.8 degrees Celsius, another got 98.0 degrees Celsius, and someone else got 98.1 degrees Celsius. Now a question arises here. If the water is boiling, then the temperature should be 100 degrees Celsius. So why are the readings coming around 98 degrees Celsius? And why are all the readings slightly different? First of all the readings are quite close to each other, which means the experiment is going in the correct direction. But they are not exactly the same, because small errors can happen during measurement. For example, if a student did not read the thermometer from the correct angle, a parallax error could occur. If the bulb was touching the container, the reading could change. Some students may have taken the reading too early, while others may have waited longer. So timing also affects the result. And every thermometer may also have slight differences of its own. But the most interesting reason is the location. This experiment was performed in Shillong, which is located at a high altitude above sea level. And here comes an important concept. As altitude increases, the boiling point decreases. That is why water there starts boiling before reaching 100 degrees Celsius, instead of 98 degrees Celsius. That means if you make tea in the mountains, it may boil faster, but don't worry, the taste will still remain the same. So, the lesson here is that measurement does not depend only on the instrument, the environment also plays a very important role. Now let's move towards air temperature. You may have noticed a thermometer hanging on a wall that shows the room temperature. And in weather reports too, maximum and minimum temperatures are always mentioned. If you record the temperature for 10 days, you will notice a pattern. The temperature changes every day. During the daytime, the temperature is usually higher, while in the morning or at night, it becomes lower. Maximum temperature means the highest temperature of the day, which usually occurs in the afternoon, and minimum temperature means the lowest temperature, which usually occurs early in the morning. Now here's another interesting observation. Temperature never remains constant. Some days it increases and then it decreases again. As summer approaches, the temperature rises, and during winter, it falls. And this data is not collected just for studying. It is also used to make weather forecasts. Weather stations all over the world record temperature and many other factors, which helps us predict what the weather will be like tomorrow. And here we remember Anna Mani, who developed weather instruments and helped India make great progress in this field. So overall, we understand that temperature is not just a number. It is a combination of environment, location, time, and measurement technique. And measuring it correctly is the real science behind it. So children, today we understood temperature and its measurement. If you liked the video, then do like it, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Keep learning, keep growing. See you in the next chapter.